Rick Hodge, Outside the Lines, brought to you by Henley Honda.
I've changed my mind. Of course, that doesn't take much because I can usually be proven wrong, but I've changed my mind about performance-enhancing drugs in baseball. If they have the numbers, let them into the Hall of Fame down in Cooperstown, which, by the way, is worth the trip. The obvious outcasts are Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens. The Rocket is an 11-time All-Star, a 7-time Cy Young winner, more than 3,600 strikeouts, more than 350 wins, a slam-dunk first ballot Hall of Famer who won't be because there is speculation that he used drugs during the last few years of his career, and it's a pretty good bet he did. People have testified to it, and after it looked like he was washed up in 1996 and the Red Sox refused to sign him, he staged a remarkable comeback with the Blue Jays in Toronto. What was lost was suddenly, and maybe a little too quickly, rediscovered. Now, the story on Bonds was that he was fed up with watching and hearing about Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa shatter the single-season home run record. If they could turn long fly balls into tantalizing taters, then he'd join their dinger derby and show them how it was really done. And he did. 73 in a single season, 762 for his career. He has an unprecedented 7 MVP awards. He was a 14-time All-Star. Now, Clemens has retired as the greatest pitcher of his generation and one of the true greats of all time. Bonds, the best power hitter in history, and some think flat out the best ever to lace up a pair of cleats. They have Hall of Fame written all over them, but the voters for Cooperstown probably have them written off. The interesting thing is that the Bonds trial hasn't been about drug use, and neither is Clemens' impending trial. Both of them are on the hook for lying about drug use while they were under oath. But the biggest factor is that baseball didn't test for steroids or any other performance-enhancing drugs until 2007. Clemens and Bonds both retired a year later. They never tested positive that we know of, and if they did, Major League Ball kept it quiet and took no action. The other day I talked about Manny Ramirez pulling the plug on his career after a second positive drug test that would have seen him suspended for 100 games. Should he be enshrined in Cooperstown? No. No, because he broke a major league rule. Dirty or not, Bonds and Clemens didn't because there was no rule. Both of them stitched together Hall of Fame careers long before 2006. But even though there are no positive tests on the record, there is some evidence and, of course, plenty of rumors that both of them were juiced. Should they be enshrined in Cooperstown? Well, a year ago, 6 months ago, I would have said no chance. Now I say open the door and let them in. I am not going to use the Ty Cobb reasoning. Cobb was an overt racist, and hey, he's in the Hall of Fame. The problem I've always had with that argument is that Major League Baseball was racist. No blacks were allowed, not until Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier in the 1950s. How was Cobb any different than the team he played for or the league he played in? If Bonds and Clemens were taking drugs to up their numbers, they weren't breaking any rules, not baseball rules. You can't fail a test that's not given. You can't break a policy that doesn't exist. Are they an embarrassment to the game? Well, to a point, yes. But the real shame belongs with Major League Baseball. They had to know what was going on. The commissioner, the owners, the general managers, the field managers, the coaches, and the trainers. If they didn't know, it's because they didn't want to know. And because there was no testing, there are very likely players in Cooperstown and more who will be voted in who did use drugs. Not banned drugs because baseball never banned them. Shame on the game and the people who run it. I'm Rick Hodge.
Rick Hodge, Outside the Lines, has been brought to you by Henley Honda.